Okay, so you should be getting the hang of this bit by now, and you'll see lots of familiar things if we look at the feet controls. By default, the feet will also be set to IK. This is for a very good reason, as 99% of the time the feet will come into contact with the ground, and so you need them to behave independently of what the rest of the body is doing. If they were set to FK, you would constantly have to readjust the feet to stay on the ground frame by frame, as any motion applied to the body control will be passed on down to the feet. There are instances where you would want to keep the legs to be in FK, such as swimming, flying, or swinging from vines, but for today's class we'll keep them in IK. If you do ever want to switch to FK, click the blue box, turn IK/FK to 10, View IK controls to 0 and View FK controls to 1. That will bring up the FK controls, so you'll be able to rotate them. You can rotate them in ways that completely break the leg should you wish. If I just demonstrate, if I were to move the body control now with the legs in FK and say we wanted him to walk, and I'll just puppet him walking along, you'll see that the legs just go straight through the floor because they're in FK, forward kinematics, and they're driven by the joint at the top rather than being driven by a control at the bottom. If I click on the foot control, you can translate it and rotate it as all the other controls. And you'll also see lots of attributes in the channel box on the right. The feet controls on this rig don't have individual toe controls, so we'll be using these attributes in order to bend, twist and roll the foot. Have a play with some of them and see how the foot reacts. You'll find there are lots of different options to move the feet, from the heel, from the ball, from the toes. Have a little play and see what they all do. If I translate the foot over here and go past the point of where the pole vector is, you'll see that the leg completely flips. This is because the knee is still trying to point to where the pole vector is. I can fix it by moving the pole vector over here, which is an extra step, an extra control to move. So in order to speed up our workflow, let's switch the pole vector to be in a local space. So click the blue cube next to the foot and switch pole to 1, which will switch it to local. And that means that now when I translate the foot, the pole vector goes with it and avoids that issue. And lastly, we'll turn off stretch by clicking the foot control and turning stretch to 0 so it no longer stretches. Job done!